And also, he didn't lose his access.
But the crazy thing is, the moment he said he had another laptop, it's kind of odd because when do we give you another laptop? Because I can go through and check and see what laptops you have. And technically, if you have one, the other one should be retired, shouldn't be in use. Only special cases when I've seen people have like two machines, where one is like typically like a lab machine, but it's not something that has like all the software, everything else.
This person had a big role in the company, but this is also why it's important for IT to make sure that they are not giving these folks who have these roles in the company, because a lot of times they'll come to the security team and be like, well, I need the access. And you still have to go about things properly because things like this do happen. Just because you ask me for the access and this is your role doesn't mean that you deserve to get this access.
Everything here is an allegation from Apple's complaint, nothing proven. OpenAI has said publicly it has no interest in other companies' trade secrets. Here's what's new. Apple alleges that Chang Liu, the engineer who left Apple for OpenAI, kept accessing Apple's network storage weeks after he stopped working there, and the way he allegedly did it is the part that matters. Hang on. What am I looking for real quick? Give me a second.
Oh, you're looking for a sound?
I had to go find that. Apple says he exploited a rare, previously unknown authentication bug in the complaint's framing. That's a 0-day. A 0-day is a security flaw that a vendor does not know about. 0 days, what? I don't even like how they put this. A 0-day is a security flaw that the vendor doesn't know about yet. It takes 0 days to fix it because they never had a chance. It's the most valuable class of vulnerability there is. Nation states buy them, and an authentication bug specifically means a flaw in the login process, something that lets you in when you shouldn't be able to get in. Now, Apple alleges Liu never returned his Apple laptop, that he told them he had another computer, that he allegedly used a current Apple's employee's laptop while she was still employed and he wasn't, that he didn't delete the program giving him access, and that he didn't report the bug, even though Apple says his employment agreement required him to.
What?
I'm definitely kind of confused right here because what do they mean?
What?
He didn't. Let me go back to that. Let's see what it said again. Apple alleges Liu never returned his laptop. Okay, that's one. That he told them that he had another computer that he allegedly used, a current Apple employee's laptop. Oh, that he allegedly used a current Apple employee's laptop while she was still employed and he wasn't, which is kind of interesting.
Okay, so for example, I don't understand. So you got a laptop, I don't work there, and I'm using it because I used to work there, but you work there now?
Right. Let's see.
But he wasn't with the company no more.
Right.
So why was he required to report?
No, you're supposed to return the laptop.
Well, 1,000% to that. But they're saying that he didn't report the bug. Was this while he was employed or after? Because he was accessing this after. And they're saying per his employee agreement. But if he's not with the company anymore, is there still that reasonable expectation for him to report that
Possibly
bug?
If he's using it in a manner that he's using to access confidential files. If he wasn't, maybe not. So he didn't delete the program, giving him access, and he didn't report the bug, even though Apple says his employment agreement required him so. And then there's the message. Apple says that when Liu realized he still had access, he wrote to that coworker, LOL, I found out I can access the network storage. So funny.
I'm screaming. Please, get this out of my face.
I need to sit here for a second because that message is the whole segment. That is not a master criminal. That's someone who found an unlocked door and thought it was funny. And that is exactly how most security incidents actually start. Not with a hoodie in a dark room, but with the normal person who finds something they shouldn't have and doesn't stop to ask whether they should walk through it. Every single one of you is going to hit a moment in your career where you have access to something you shouldn't. A folder, a dashboard, a database. What you do with that 30 seconds is your entire career. Report it every time. That's the job. But if I'm not working with you anymore, I don't got to report it.
That's what I'm saying. That's the part that was confusing in the article because it sounds like they still wanted him to report it because he still had the access.
But my thing is...
But they're saying, per your employee agreement.
But if this
guy was... voided?
If this guy was off-boarded, nobody saw him...
He wasn't off-boarded. He wasn't. That's why he still had the access.
So that goes back to, remember when I said he lied, or like, is some fishy stuff going on where he wasn't not working with them? They still thought he was working with them.
It is on Apple for not requiring him to return that laptop or wipe it,
I don't think.
and also he didn't lose his access.
But the crazy thing is, the moment he said he had another laptop, it's kind of odd because when did we give you another laptop? Because I can go through and check and see what laptops you have. And technically, if you have one, the other one should be retired, shouldn't be in use. Only special cases when I've seen people have like two machines, where one is like typically like a lab machine, but it's not something that has like all the software, everything else.
This person had a big role in the company, but this is also why it's important for IT to make sure that they are not giving these folks who have these roles in the company, because a lot of times they'll come to the security team and be like, well, I need the access. And you still have to go about things properly, because things like this do happen. Just because you ask me for the access and this is your role doesn't mean that you deserve to get this access. Is there a lesser permission that we can assign in this particular instance? This was a mess, a hot mess. And then the other person whose laptop they were using, are they in this scenario too?
Interesting, because that's why he said allegedly, he said they're using the other employee's laptop, but he wasn't. When that person messaged him and said, "Hey, I can access this," so funny.
The person should have reported it then.
Yeah.
If they were doing what they should have been doing in alignment with the company. And because that's basically like, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, oh my God, this is an insider risk situation.
Yeah. And so they said, Apple's got some questions to answer too. TechCrunch asked when they decommissioned his access and got no reply. Because here's the thing, the bug is Apple's bug. Somebody's access should have been cut on day one. So background was Apple alleges Lou exploited a previously unknown authentication bug to reach Apple's cloud-based network storage after leaving, classified and reported as a 0-day. Apple says it has since fixed the bug and terminated his access, and that server logs show only Lou exploited it, though the bug could have let a few other people in. So,
y'all, what?
but the key words when I'm looking at this,
you know what? We're gonna have to wait until it unfolds to get this.
we're gonna probably just keep up with this. Like we've been keeping up with the Shy.
It's not gonna make sense to us right now because we don't have all the
well,
details.
Right here it says he accessed the network storage after leaving. So apparently they knew he was gone. Why did they wait to terminate his access?
The larger question is, why was his access not terminated when he left the company?
That's what I just asked.
Yeah, like that's the big question, and they dropped the ball there.
And additionally, the unreturned laptop claimed to have another computer used. Co-worker Yuting Pen's Apple laptop while she was still employed, and he was not. Failed to delete the access program, failed to report the bug despite employment allegations. So it's actually on Yuting, not the guy who left.
That's what I'm saying.
Ping.
Both of them are insiders. Mm-hmm. Period. Both of them. An insider post working there and an insider that actually works there.
Let's take it further. With them names, how we know they're not working with, what's the competitor to OpenAI in China that everybody was trying to go use their stuff and download the LLM?
I can't even remember.
Look it up if you can remember. It's like China's LLM, China's ChatGPT. Where are we at? Apple wouldn't answer how the bug worked, how it was exploited, or when it cut off his credentials. So we've been talking about this the whole time, but offboarding is a security control. This entire alleged incident traces back to access that outlived employment.
DeepSeek?
Yep, DeepSeek. That's not exotic. It's the single most common gap in corporate security. 0 days aren't only for spies. The mythology says nation state. The reality is sometimes a guy who noticed something working that shouldn't work is a problem. Logs are what turned this into a case. Apple's whole ability to allege who did what comes from server logs. No logging, no story, no lawsuit.
I think that this is a really, really good article for folks to be sharing with their team at work, especially because you do get those requests from said VP who's making it an urgent priority for you that they need this access. But again, this is a prime example of why we have the things in place that we have in place. Just because you want it doesn't mean you need it. And also, what do we have in place for these protected users who are accessing content in our company that is the most confidential and the most, and it has the most business risk if it is exposed. That's a mess.
Yeah. Not only that, I think this is a good way of use cases. I've seen times where I've seen the emails, hey, so and so didn't return their asset. Like the best thing we could do is like if they try to connect it,
That's what I'm saying.
it won't access
Yeah,
nothing.
but he wasn't even using it, so it didn't matter.
Now-
His laptop never mattered because he wasn't using it.
The other thing is sometimes is so what people do is they're not connected to the network. They know that they could possibly log on locally. But once you log on locally, you shouldn't be able to do anything or access anything on a computer without being on the corporate network. And that's why you got to contain it. Because time they try to do it, they should be called and say, hey, you can no longer use your machine. Mm-hmm. So definitely pretty interesting. Hopefully we'll see an update for next week so we can kind of just keep on with the case that keeps on giving. But I thought that was pretty cool.
It was a good update.
Did you want to talk about the Mac malware real quick?
Yeah, let's get started. So